same question and get two completely different answers. And the only difference is if you're willing to commit 10 seconds of setting up your prompt. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact 10 techniques that took my AI outputs from what the hell is this to oh my god, I can't believe this is real. And I'm gonna give you the copy-pasted examples for every single one. Hi, I'm Xavier, founder of OneWay. We run cold email and outbound campaigns for B2B tech companies, and we use AI for everything. Lead research, email copy, campaign analysis, you name it. But here's the thing, bad prompts equals bad output. And most people are leaving 80% of the capabilities on the table because they don't know these fundamentals. But by the end of the video, you're going to have 10 actionable hacks you can use in pretty much any LLM. Whether that's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, DeepSeek, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm gonna also show you the one meta hack at the end that lets the AI improve your prompts for you. It's my favorite hack actually, but let's jump in. Hack number one, give the AI a role. When you tell the AI who it is, it changes how it thinks and responds. So an example of a bad prompt is, write me a resume. An example of a good prompt is, you are a professional resume writer with 10 years of experience in tech recruiting. Write me a resume for a senior product manager role. You see the difference, right? The AI now writes with authority and context. It's been trained on millions of examples where role and voice matters. So this one line makes everything much more relevant for the AI. And a quick pro tip, the more specific the role, the better the output. So don't just say marketer, say B2B SaaS growth marketer focused on cold email. Hack 2 is specify the task. Vague prompts are going to give you vague answers. So a bad example would be, tell me about climate change. A good example would be, summarize the main causes of climate change in 3 bullet points suitable for a high school science class. Do you notice the difference? Do you notice how I told it first, like the format, give it to me in 3 bullet points. The audience, high school level, and the content scope, main causes, not solution. So the clearer you are, the less back and forth you're going to have. And to be honest with you, that's the thing that I noticed that people get frustrated about the most when it comes to using LLMs, is this back and forth, like, oh my God, I've been talking to it for the last 10 minutes, I can't get what I want. Well, you can't get what you want because you're being too vague. Okay, now hack number 3 is output formatting. I would put this at one of the most underrated hacks for beginners because you can say things like, respond in a table with columns for X, Y, and Z, and give me a numbered list. Or use markdown formatting with headers, or output as JSON. So for example, list 5 cold email subject lines in a table with columns for subject line, hook, type, and expected open rate. Now I can copy and paste this straight into a spreadsheet or a Notion database with no reformatting needed. Hack number 4 is chain of thought prompting. So it's essentially asking the AI to show its work. And it's not just for math, it works for any complex task. So an example, what is 17 times 23? Explain your thought process step by step. But here's where it gets powerful. Use this for decision making or analysis. Something like, should I target enterprise or SMBs for this product? Walk me through the pros and cons step by step. This is by far my favorite hack or tip when it comes to prompting, because most people are just asking AI questions, expecting one answer and that's it. But when you ask it to think, when you ask it to give you pros and cons, naturally what you're ending up in is a conversation, right? Because you're probably gonna have more questions to ask about the pros, about the cons. You might even wanna challenge it, and you should, because AI isn't perfect and it hallucinates every now and then. So this removes the black and white, I have a question, give me an answer, and that's it. It kind of creates a dialogue when you do that. Hack 5, give the AI examples of what you want. This is called few shot prompting, and it's incredibly powerful for tasks that need consistency or have a specific style. Here's how it works with cold email copy, for example. Input, saw you're hiring SDRs. Do you want 50 qualified leads by Monday? Output, too pushy, lacks context. Input, noticed your team posted 3 SDR roles this month. I put together 50 leads in your ICP. Mind if I send it over? Output, context driven, value first, soft CTA. And now AI should know how to answer because we gave it those 2 examples before. It picks up the pattern based on your examples. And at OneWay, we use this for email quality assurance. So we're training the AI to score our copy against our own voice guidelines. Lead qualification, showing it examples of good versus bad fit accounts so it can classify new lists. Even subject line testing, giving it 3 really high performing examples and asking for 10 more in that style. Another one is reply categorization. So we teach it to sort responses into interested, information request, not now, meeting request, unsubscribe, or really anything else. The more examples you give it, the more it starts thinking like your team. Hack 6, structured prompt templates. A template is essentially a checklist for your prompts. And we use this specifically inside of Notion. And this is where things can get complicated, so I'm gonna give you a very simple format that you can follow. And then I'm gonna show you one use case that I've been using Notion AI for that I absolutely love. Okay, so here's the format that you should use. First, the role, who is the AI, then the task, what do you want it to do, then the context, what's the background information, then the format, how should it respond, and then give us some examples, maybe 1, 2, 3 samples, and then a tone. Is it supposed to be formal, casual, or friendly? And that right there is your prompt template. Now let me share my screen because I want to show you how I am using templates specifically in Notion to streamline a lot of the work that I've been doing. Okay, so Notion's been killing it with the updates recently, and this is maybe my favorite one that they've done. So now with Notion AI, you can click here on the left-hand side, Notion AI, and you get this view, right? Now, if you just click on this personalized button, it allows you to click a page that you can use as context for the task that you're about to do. So for example, if I were to go, I think I put it in my portal, one sec guys. Okay, so if I go to my agents, so I so far have built a sales Notion AI, an inbox manager, my very own LinkedIn content copywriter, and a YouTube script writer. Now, for this example, I actually want to show you the LinkedIn content copywriter. So number one, I'm giving it an identity. I'm telling it what it is. I'm then giving it its job. I then did something that I really like, where I found a really long podcast of this copywriter. Apparently he wrote ads and hooks for some of the biggest brands in the world. So what I did is I used Clay to transcribe the entire podcast. I then uploaded it into Notion AI. And then I said, okay, help me retrieve the best lessons taken from this podcast, because it's a copywriting masterclass. And I used that into my master prompt, okay? That's actually one of my favorite things to do when coming up with custom GPTs or now Notion AIs and stuff like that. So there's a lot here. If you're interested in this, let me know. I can copy paste it for you down below because I keep changing it, honestly. And then I'm adding some examples right here. And then it has also a memory section. So that means if I use Notion AI and now I use my LinkedIn content copywriter and I say, oh, actually you messed up here. Like, can you please never say the word toast? I don't know. Then it will automatically update itself. Another cool thing about Notion AI is that it can use everything in your Notion workspace, and it has access to your Slack and Gmail. This is extremely powerful. This is by far my favorite use case of using AI so far. And I'm gonna give you a quick tutorial, or not tutorial, I'm gonna give you a quick demo on how I use it. So first things first is when you use Notion AI, it will always be set to auto. I always set it to Claude. Claude is just better at copywriting, and most of my use cases within Notion AI is for copywriting. In this video, by the way, that you're watching, I actually used my YouTube script writer to come up with a script. But let's go ahead and change this. So if I click here, use existing page, Xavier's LinkedIn content, copywriter, boom. And I'm gonna say, help me write a LinkedIn post about the importance of setting up an email infrastructure. Use the info in, and I can, this is why I like Notion, I can tag a page. So I know that I wrote about this in $100 million outbound playbook. Okay, I'm gonna click enter. And let's see. So what I've done is I've also told it in the initial setup in the template to always create 2 versions. Okay, I always like to review 2 versions and see which one I like. So we'll read version 1 together very quickly. So it's describing what the archetype is. Okay, the hook is, I almost lost my business because I trusted the wrong email provider. Back in 2023, I fell for the SMTP hype. Every expert was pushing these third-party providers that promised better deliverability at half the cost. This is true, by the way. This is very true. I did go through that. Here's what actually happened. My domains got blacklisted. Okay, let's keep. The hook is what I want to focus on right now. The hook is like 80% of the post. Let's see. Your cold email infrastructure is more important than your copy. I know everyone obsesses over subject lines. Okay, I hate this. I like the first one more because it feels more personal. I'm gonna say version 1 is better. Can you tell me where you got that information from? Beautiful. So I'm just double checking, and you can see when it has this emoji, if I click on it, it's gonna open up the page that I asked it to reference. So this is beautiful. And now I'm gonna say, okay, this is great. can you schedule the post for me on my next available time slot, please? Please, because if one day Notion AI decides to be a robot and wants to kill me, it won't. Now, what's cool about this is you're going to see it knows that when I ask it to schedule a post, it knows that it needs to go through. Okay, so I'm actually really glad this is happening. I asked it to schedule the post and it didn't do something that I wanted to do. I'm gonna edit the prompt in this chat. So I'm gonna say, okay, next time I ask you to schedule a post for me, I want you to go to content calendar, find the next available time slot for the user, Xavier, it's me, create a new page with the post that you created, fill the properties in that page, add the above guidelines in your master prompt in LinkedIn, so I don't have to remind you about this again. Okay, so you see it's searching the content calendar. So the content calendar is another database I have where I put all of our content in there because I want to be able to use Notion AI. Like the more information I have there, the better Notion AI is going to be because I can ask it to scour through like all the posts that we have. And now it's updating the instructions, okay? Beautiful. This way I don't have to repeat myself and ask the same thing over and over again. And that is the entire point of a template. And you can see that it created the page. So now, if I click on this, you will see it tagged me. It figured out this is a story time post, status, scheduled. That would be maybe the one thing I would want to change to be more specific, but it's fine for now. It figured out that it's a LinkedIn post and it scheduled it for the 24th. So let's see. So this is my content calendar. And as you can see, it figured out my next available time slot was the 24th, right? This is the one that we just added together. Before that, I have one on the 23rd, but I had nothing on 24th. It did a good job. And also, just to show you here, updated instructions. So now if I click on here and let's search, if I put Command F, content calendar, scheduling LinkedIn posts. When the user asks you to schedule a post, query the content calendar to find the next available data slot for the user, create a new page in the content calendar, source with, and it figured it out. And actually, I can take it a step further here, just real quick. Let me... I want it to be scheduled, not scheduled. And perfect. I never have to do this again. And this is the power of Notion AI and the power, obviously, of having a very clear field of information template so that you can keep on optimizing on this. Like one thing I'm thinking of leveraging this this templatized version is just by adding more examples and by doing a review maybe at the end of the quarter of like what are my best performing posts, and let's add those as examples in the master prompt so we can keep having really good quality outputs. Hack number 7, providing context. I know this piggybacks on what I was just showing you, but there's one little detail I want to add. It matters where you leave the context in the prompt. So a bad example would be summarize this article and focus on actionable takeaways for B2B buyers, and then you put like the 2,000 words article that you want to summarize. And here's the problem. Some LLMs prioritize what comes last. So the AI might focus on the article content and ignore your instructions completely. So the fix is you just need to put your context first, then give the instructions. Here's an article about cold email deliverability. You paste the article. Then you say, summarize the key points above in 5 bullet points. Focus on actionable takeaways for B2B SaaS founders. That will almost always give you a better output. And the reason why this works is because the AI reads the context, then gets the crystal clear instructions on what to do with it. Your prompt is the last thing it processes, so it sticks. And here's a quick pro tip. If you're using Claude or ChatGPT with a long document, you can also upload it as a file and then reference it in your prompt. So same principle, context first, instructions last. Hack number 8 is specify the tone that you want. You can control tone with just one line. And you probably saw this when I was demoing the Notion AI stuff. Saying something like, write a polite professional email requesting a meeting versus write a casual, friendly email requesting a coffee chat. You can also and this is probably my favorite tone prompt is, explain this as if I'm a beginner. Write this in grade 9 plain English style. Make it sound urgent but not pushy. These kind of one sentences make a really big difference. And if you can make sure that that tone is also displayed in the examples you give, you're cooking. Okay, now hack number 9 is iterative refinement. Iterative refinement means that you review the output, then adjust the prompt. So on your first try, you might say, write a LinkedIn post about cold email. And you're probably going to get an awful result. Then a second try is you might say something like, write a 150-word LinkedIn post about cold email. Use a personal story in the first sentence, include one specific metric, and end with a question. Now you'll start getting a bit better results. And ideally what you want is, again, we keep coming back full circle with the Notion AI demo, is that you want to get to a point where you have as much context, as many examples, the tone, basically all the hacks, honestly, that I'm giving you in this video, you want to stack it up on top of each other into a master prompt. This will make your life a lot easier. And the trick to get to a similar output that I showed you is that after a response, ask yourself, is this too long? Do I need to add a word limit? Is it too formal? Do I need to adjust the tone? Am I missing something here? How can I make this better? And you keep on improving, and over time, you're going to build a library of prompts that work every single time, that are tailored for your style. Okay, and now on to the last hack. This is the one that I promised in the very beginning of the video, and it's borderline unfair. Every major LLM has an official prompting guide. Did you know about that? I'm gonna link all of them down below for you, but Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, they all have their own guide, and you can download them as PDFs, upload it to your LLM of choice, write your prompt, and then ask the LLM to adjust your prompt based on the guidelines that you uploaded. Boom, the AI is now helping you prompt it better. It's using advice from its own creators. This is a feedback loop. You get better prompts, which get you better outputs, which teach you what works. And again, I'm gonna link all the official guides for you in the description, so use the hack, it's a cheat code. It's easily my favorite thing that I've done when it comes to prompting LLMs. Okay, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. We talked about defining the role, be explicit about the task, specify output formatting, use chain of thought for complex tasks, give examples, give as many examples as possible, build reusable templates, and I would suggest to use Notion AI for this, provide context before the instructions, control your tone and style, even with just one line, iterate and refine, and lastly, upload the official prompting guides to your LLM of choosing and ask it to help you improve your prompt. All right, this brings us to the end of the video. If you want to see how we use AI for real client work, whether that's lead research, email copy, campaign strategy, check out the case studies linked below. We've helped 50+ B2B companies automate their outbound, and a lot of it started with better prompts. And if you're running a B2B company and you need help building a system like this, then book a call with us. I'm gonna leave a link down below in the description. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Ciao.